Hi guys, today we're looking at something in your life where you might be lying to yourself or unconsciously deceiving yourself. Some place in your life where there's a blind spot or you just need more clarity. Yeah? But we're going to center this idea of you lying to yourself for some reason, and we're going to understand the attachment that is driving the lie so that you can understand the truth in a more holistic way. So pick a pile. We won't go 1 to 3, we'll go color wise, so yellow, pink and green. Yeah. Pause the video if you need more time. For those of you who've picked your colors, we'll begin. So I'm going to begin with green. At this pile, we're doing pile green. At this pile, the deception, the lie, is at the level of the heart. So it could be someone you love. It's feeling like a parent figure. Does not have to be a biological parent, could be a teacher, could be a boss, anyone that you consider to be a parent figure. It's feeling like a masculine parent figure or a father figure. Someone who's helped you understand how to act in the world. Yeah. This person has been the source of great guidance for you in your life. They've given you good guidance. Stuff that's really helped you always, stuff that's changed your life. Like their advice is everything to you. But there's a 2 of Cups in reverse here. So on the surface, there's a lot of reliance on them. You could have an exaggerated sense of respect for them. You could think to yourself you really, really love them, but there is some deception here. This person is also very kind, this parent figure, this father figure, very kind, very helpful, like truly helpful. But you have some major issue with them. Feels like a lot of resentment and buried bitterness. Everything, there's something that negates everything that they've done in their life, and for you, there's something you feel that negates everything that they've done, like the value of everything that they are, or the value of their life, the goodness in them. Either it's something you've seen in them or something you suspect them of doing. You've seen something of them that you shouldn't have seen, and maybe that's why you buried it. Okay, this is none of my business, but it's opened up a wound, opened up a hole in your heart, where on the surface you're like, great, thank you so much, you're so amazing, and inside you're seething and really unhappy. 10 of Cups in reverse. We have the 10 of Coins in reverse and Cups in reverse. This is extreme anger towards this person. Ace of Cups in reverse. You hate them. But on the surface, you say you love them, you really respect them. So there's something to really think about. If this is not resonating for you, I would click off. And if it's making you doubt feelings that you have towards a father figure, I would stay and carefully consider if this is the case, because remember, this reading is about how we deceive ourselves. So the messages that come through may not be immediately, comprehensible as this is my pile. So take some time with it if it's making you think. The Hermit. I think that this father figure has had a past. Okay. And maybe they're upfront about it too, that, in the past I did these things that were really problematic, and I did these things that were wrong and exploitative of others or morally reprehensible. But then they had a turnaround. They changed their life. They went through a period of spiritual reflection. They changed their life. They created their life anew. And they really managed to keep their word. They have truly let those habits of the past stay in the past. So, for example, if they had been an alcoholic, they have truly stayed on course. They have recovered from alcoholism. They've made amends. They might even be helping other people who are dealing with a similar problem. Like, they've turned their life around in some way, but they've had a past that is not entirely clean. I think that you suspect that this turnaround is not fully real. Okay, pile green. This, you might not like hearing this, but I'm going to share what's coming up in the cards. There's some prejudice that's coming through in your field. Whatever it was that they did in the past, it could be an addiction, it could be bad choices, it could be imprisonment, it could be cheating on their partner in some way, it could be cheating on a business partner, something that they've done. They have really moved past it. They've created a new life. They've really done the inner work to get where they are right now. There's something in you that has a hard time forgiving them, letting go of the knowledge of what they've done, even though they have really moved past it. Like, there is no dishonesty that's coming through in their field. And so this might be something that is more about your disbelief or your prejudice about whatever it is that they've done. It might be preventing you from trusting them fully, even though you can see that they've really, in a superhuman way, overcome what was their past. And that is why you have so much respect for them. But at the heart level, you're very angry with whatever they've done in the past. You're very angry, even if you weren't in their life then. So let's say this is your biological father, and you know that before you were born, they did certain things. Maybe they were in prison. Maybe they did certain things that were not morally right. But then right now they're an amazing person, but you can't get over that knowledge, even though you weren't even born. But the fact that they were capable of that makes you feel insecure. There's a sense here in you, in your energy field, about being really unsure if people can ever change. But I want to say that this goes really deep, pile green. So it's not just, they're amazing, I just have this little niggling doubt. We have very big cards here. Ace of Cups in reverse, 10 of Coins in reverse, 10 of Cups in reverse. So this goes really deep. So, no matter what you say to them on the surface, inside of you, all of this is burning a hole. It's creating inauthenticity, it's creating lies at the level of your behavior. There is some there is some perfection that you're seeking and they're not it because they've made mistakes in the past. There's a psychological process called de-idealization, which is really important for all of us to go through as children, as teenagers, even as adults. It happens regularly in different ways. So as a child, you know, we get we would have gotten de-idealized with things that we loved, things that we thought, oh, this is perfect, and we discovered it wasn't. But didn't doesn't what we had to learn was that just because things weren't perfect didn't mean that they were bad. Then as teenagers we had to get de-idealized about our parents and about the adults in our lives and maybe even about our friends, about ourselves. But mostly it is as adults that we get de-idealized about ourselves, like things that we thought we were great at, or things that we thought, we're really good at, or we are morally upright, etc. So there is here a failed cycle of de-idealization with this parent figure. And at the heart of it, there might be something about you. So you might have made mistakes in your past that you've had a lot of trouble forgiving yourself for, that you just cannot accept that you made those mistakes and you could still be a good person, or that you made those mistakes and you could still be someone that you can respect and love. And that's getting projected on this parent figure. So you're thinking, I can't, unconsciously, you're thinking, I can't love you because you've made these mistakes, because you've sullied the field in some way. But at the heart of it could be you, and you not being able to forgive yourself from something that you did that didn't turn out to be correct like you thought it would be. It's all feeling so murky psychologically. So again, like if this is resonating with you, it might take you a few days to fully understand what's emerging in this reading, because all of this feels very buried under the surface. What you can't forgive yourself for could have been a romantic relationship with someone older than you who appeared to be really loving and good and kind, but turned out like they didn't give you what was your due in the relationship. And you could have waited and stayed in this relationship for much longer than what you think you should have. It's really damaged your sense of self. You feel like you made a series of bad judgments. You were really naive. You don't want to be naive with this father figure. I was naive with this person. I let their mistakes go. I overlooked their red flags. Look at what they did to me. Am I being naive with others? They never changed. Is this father figure really changed when they say they have? Pile Green, this really feels like this is just something you have to sort at the mental level right now, because whatever's happened with this romantic relationship has made you suspicious of everyone around you. It's very normal, very natural. But this father figure, you're being guided to really look at their actions. This person who broke your heart, they didn't do what they didn't do at the level of action, right? Their acts were not aligned with your image of them. But that's not true with the father figure. they're really doing what they say they will do. They're really doing things that are in alignment with the self image that they have, with what they claim to be. So there's a fundamental difference between the father figure who's made mistakes but then has actually moved forward, has actually changed themselves. Whereas here, this person in that romantic relationship, this person has made mistakes, but there has been no reparation to themselves or to you. There has been no change that you witnessed in them while you were together. I think this is in the past, it's over, but I think it's made such an impact on you because it's really made you question your capacity for discernment in relationships. I just get so easily convinced by the other person's words, but the father figure is not just using words, they're actually doing what they say they will. Okay, so there's a fundamental difference here between what you went through in that failed relationship and what you're experiencing of this parent figure, this father figure. But whatever this romantic relationship was, it's kind of poisoning you against this father figure. So I'd really work on this because you have a good thing going with that parent figure. They're very loving to you, they're very giving to you, but it's hard for you to accept it with your whole heart. There's a lot of bitterness and suspicion swirling inside. So you might need to work on whatever happened in your romantic relationship first, and then get that out of your system a little bit, and then reconsider, review your relationship with this father figure. But start with the romantic relationship, start the purging there. I feel like this could also be poisoning your heart in general in terms of relationships, making it really difficult for you to trust others. Yeah, the child within. You're not alone. Ancient ancestors stand beside you. Council of Light, divine orchestration. Who or what is triggering you? I'll interpret these in a second. Just getting them all out first. Star Mother, Mother Rose, returning to each other. And how are you, Priestess? How are you being called to step up and lead? Alright, so we have some connections here. So we have 3 cards about mothering yourself, the child within, inner mother, Star Mother, and Mother Rose, compassion. We have 2 cards of ancestors and guides, and then we have Mirror, who or what is triggering you, and Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? First of all, whatever happened in that romantic relationship, your guides are coming through to say that don't think of it as, okay, I could have prevented that. The whole problem here is that you went through so much pain and you're blaming yourself for it. If I were more realistic about this, if I were more discerning about this, I could have prevented all of that pain. I could have avoided that pain. Your guides are saying that's not true, in the sense that there was some wounding within that exposed you to this person's appearance. I don't think that this person, the person that with whom you were romantically involved who broke your heart, I don't think they were insincere. I think they just honestly weren't the person that they thought they were, you know. So if they had promised some kind of a future to you, I don't think they were lying, but also they didn't know that they meant it. So there is an emotional immaturity to them. And you believed them. And yoga is saying that's not your fault that you believed them. You know, there are some cycles of de-idealization that we have to go through no matter how smart we are, because certain things it is appropriate for us to not know. So as a teenager, when we're getting de-idealized by our parents, it's not our fault. You know, we grow up seeing them in a particular way, and then as we grow into more fuller adults, we see them in a fuller way. So something like that has happened in this romantic relationship, where whatever you did was appropriate to the stage of emotional and psychic development that you were at. You couldn't have avoided this suffering, in the sense that there was some emotional growth that you would have had to go through regardless of this relationship, this other person. You know, certain, like, de-idealization is really painful, but it's something that we all have to go through in many ways repeatedly to unlock certain levels of growth within us. That, like, it feels almost, I'm sure there are other ways to grow, but when you go through it, you realize that this was the only way I could have understood this about myself, or this was the only way that I could have broken out of this kind of an understanding of the world. It feels like that. There was something necessary in what went on in that romantic relationship, and it's not your fault. Okay? Stop blaming yourself. Stop thinking you could have done better. It is not about you having done better. It's not about them having done better. It's about you understanding what inside of you made you believe them. Just witness that. Just witness that. It could have been a deep need for love. Maybe they were providing a kind of validation that you'd never had in your life, and you wanted that so much that everything else wasn't that important. It could be all kinds of things that made you want to stay with them. Just trust that. Understand that need and trust it. Okay, I did it because. Yeah, and this parent figure is golden. You don't need to suspect them, you don't need to question them, you can allow yourself to trust them. When you do, you will find that you're unlocking a whole new level of relational harmony, not just with them but also with others. Like, it's becoming possible for you to trust others and receive love from them and be happy with them in a way that wasn't possible before. Right. That's your reading, Pile Green. All the best with this arc of your healing. Alright, Pile Yellow. This is your reading. How are you deceiving yourself in the current moment? Alright, this is about work. Yeah, this is actually a very sweet kind of a message. Something that you think is failing, or something that you think is growing really slowly, or you're not doing it well, or it's not receiving the kind of response that you think it should. It's just not going how you think it should. If it were successful, if it were going well, this is not how it would look. That's what you're thinking. But your guides are saying you're deceiving yourself, you're scared to trust it. The thing is that there is something very beautiful about the particularity of the failure here. So let's say that you were a writer, okay, and you had decided that I was going to write 10,000 words in 30 days. Okay, let's say you decided that. And now 60 days have passed, but you have 600 words, not 20,000 words, okay? So you think, shit. But you know this file, yellow, you know this, that these 600 words have a quality that you did not expect from your own writing. That these 600 words are better than your favorite author's writing. That these 600 words have set you on a path in terms of the plot line or in terms of the tone of the text, that you know there is so much here, so much potential here, but also the fact that these 600 words are out there, out on the page. It's done. Like, something is done. You have already done something amazing. You're scared to trust this though, and you'd much rather tell yourself, I should have had 20,000 words and I just only have 600. You're scared to trust how crazy good it's looking. Because you're telling yourself, well, it's not, it's just 600 words. Yeah, it's 2 good paragraphs, but it doesn't mean it's going to turn into the novel I wanted to be or the book I wanted to be. The reason you're talking to yourself like that is that you're really, really scared. It feels like the stakes have suddenly become even higher than they were. Because now you have these 600 words that are golden, and what if it'll be heart crushing and absolutely disappointing if you're not able to translate the promise of these 600 words into the book that you want it to be. But you're deceiving yourself. You are lying to yourself that this isn't working. It is very much working. And this is what you need to do moving forward. It's a very straightforward message, Pile Yellow. This is what you need to do moving forward. The problem is that you have certain images of success and failure. That is what's holding you back. You need to let them go. Okay? Especially in terms of parameters of time, parameters of length, let's say. So if you were thinking, okay, like a good novella should be 80,000 words. You don't know all of that. Put all of that aside. I should be able to finish writing a book in a year. You don't know that. Put all of that aside. Maybe this is like a prize-winning book and you need to put in 6 years. Maybe this is a novella that's going to be 30,000 words and it changes the history of, changes the genre of the novel. You don't know what you're capable of producing. Do not attach earthly, solid, market-oriented, superficial parameters to the creative process. Let your creative capacity take you where it wants to. You just don't think of it as failure or success at all. Just let it unfold. You're getting in your way right now, Pile Yellow, and you need to step out of your way. It's actually, it sounds lovely and good and feel good, but I don't think it feels good for you. I think your fear is really deep. This sentence is coming through again. You would much rather tell yourself you're failing than admit to yourself that you might be successful beyond your wildest dreams. Where is that fear of success coming from? Where is that? It's both, right? It's fear of success and it's also fear of failure. So has there been something in your past where you thought you were very close to success and then, yeah, okay, yeah, the tower, okay. All right, so something in your past where you were very close to success and there seems to be like a relational sabotage here. So the people around you could have sabotaged, your colleagues maybe sabotaged you in some way. Could have been intentional, unintentional, but you had a very big tower moment. Really big. It could have taken you years to heal from this, yeah. And changed everything. Maybe you had to leave the job, or maybe you had to start all over again, or whatever this achievement was, or whatever this success was. Okay, you were that close, but then it was gone forever. Yeah. And so it's very, yeah. It's I think this has really, really hurt your heart very much, pile yellow. Yeah, it's made you distrustful of others and of success and of failure and of work itself. You may have isolated yourself completely from people in your field. Like, I'm going to go at it alone, which I think is a good decision, going at it alone. Yeah, but it's time to release what's happened in the past. It's time to see what you've actually managed to do, which is a lot. The Five of Pentacles in reverse, which tells me that, again, you've already done it. These 600 words tell you that there is something you've already... The success has already begun. It's already here. Yeah, all you need to do now is stay the course, and whatever the work demands, give that to the work without attaching your images and expectations to it. Should be done in this much time, should be done in this way. Don't do that. Yeah, for a while, there's not going to be any clarity or certainty about how much time it's going to take, what kind of book am I writing, what is it turning out to be. I started writing a romance novel, but this is like a thriller. Whatever it is, let it unfold. Right now, your conscious mind is a little bit of an enemy. You need to dig in deeper and let something deeper within you do this work. One of the things that could help you, sticking with the writer example here, but of course, apply this to whatever it is in your life. So one of the things you could do is, before you get to work every day, whatever this is, take 10 minutes to meditate, to breathe in and out, to get into a state where you don't get in your way, where you don't start, second guessing things, and instead be in a state of calm and peace where you can just let something else work through you. So do this every day before you get to work, and that might help. It's really good. Whatever you're working on, it's really good. It's the kind of success that you couldn't have imagined, you can't even imagine right now, which is why you can't believe it. Because it's not success in the external sense, like, oh, I wrote a book that everyone loved. It's not about the book becoming a bestseller. It's about writing a book that is your favorite book in the whole world. It's about you being able to witness yourself as the most beautiful, the most aligned, the most, insert an adjective of your choice. It's meeting in yourself the kind of human that you'd never dared to hope you could have become. This is an achievement of the self. It's not an achievement of the professional field. This is about you having become someone. Yeah, I think you can't see it at all. Yellow, you can't see it at all. It's going to take you a little bit of deep soul searching to see how far you've come. How far you've come. Oh. It's like whatever happened in the past, you might have been sabotaged in the sense of a title, at work, or a promotion, or a successful project. But those were all, the definition of that success was predicated on external markers. It's like from that you've moved to real success, which is internal, which is inner success, inner empowerment. You knowing who you are. Yeah, see? The sacred union, beloved within. You are in union with yourself. Share your voice. I do think this is about something artistic or creative. Share your voice, expression. Come out of the cave. The bud, potential, promise, it's about to happen. Keep going. Wow. I love this. I love the energy here. You're not being humble, pile yellow. You are not seeing yourself clearly. How far you've come. Healing is happening. You're not, these are so on point. Healing is happening. You are not broken. Trust the process. It's safe to soften. The grandmothers, remember your roots, perspective, trust the weavings. Transformation. Things are changing at a cellular level. Deep healing. One more, guys. Give us one more. You're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. Absolutely. You are already doing it, pile yellow. You are it. You've reached the point that you did not think you would, and now you're second guessing it, and you don't need to do it. Don't get in your way. Don't attach parameters of timing and look and image to whatever it is that you're doing. Just commit to the process. Whatever you're creating, it is going to be more beautiful than you can imagine. This is so wholesome and healing, even for me to hear and feel in your field. This is amazing. Keep going, pile 2. Keep going. All right, pile pink. How are you deceiving yourself in this moment? This feels like the opposite of pile 2 in some way, that you're telling yourself there is something you can do, but it's not something you want to do, or it's not something that makes your heart sing. It feels like you want to do it because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what everyone's supposed to do at a particular point in their lives. Yeah, see? 10 of Cups in reverse, unhappiness. I mean, acute unhappiness. The Knight of Swords in reverse. So, kind of maybe trying to paper over this unhappiness by moving really fast. 9 of Swords in reverse. This feeling really bad and anxious, pile pink. The Devil in reverse. Okay. The Moon. Okay. Yeah, there are mother figures, maybe your biological mother even, or mother figures in general who are pressurizing you to do something, or even if they're not directly pressurizing you, maybe it's something that they believe you should do, and that's creating pressure for you. This feels actually like a relationship thing. Like you may feel you need to get into a romantic relationship, or you need to get married when you don't want to. You're not even sure if it's the right thing for you, but there are mother figures in your life who think absolutely you should do that right now. I'm hearing these kinds of sentences. Everyone feels they don't want to get married, but when they do, it feels really good. You'll settle into it. And I think you're revolted by the idea. You're anxious about it, but you're having trouble trusting your intuition. You're having trouble trusting your own instincts and feeling like, what do I know? And are trying to, it feels like you are rushing this process out of anxiety. Okay, you think I should get married? Let's do it. Because the anxiety of thinking, okay, I actually don't want to do this thing that everyone says I should. I could be totally wrong, but I don't want to do this right now. I may totally mess up my life, but I don't want to do that right now. That feels like such a risk. Maybe the kind of person you are, that this is too much to take, to go against the tide. Maybe so far in your life, like, things have been pretty much, I don't want to say conventional, but yeah, pretty much like measured, and do things, appropriate things at the right time, in a value system that is conventionally accepted. So finish studying by 23, and then get a job immediately, and then get a promotion by 26, and now I'm 28 and I have to get married so that I have a child by 30. There's a timeline here that you have by and large followed really well, but this crucial step of the timeline, you think, not for me. But instead of trusting that you might be moving even faster towards the timeline, let's do this right now, because otherwise you'd have to face whatever's happening inside. Yeah, Queen of Wands in reverse, the Night Sun. This could also be a little bit of a sexuality issue, so you may not have admitted to yourself who you're actually attracted to. You may have always told yourself you're straight and you're not. That feels nerve-wracking. Pile pink. Nerve-wracking. If that's true for you, I'm sorry. I'm feeling so much anxiety and worry in your field. Breathe with me. Okay? There's a lot of risk here. Whatever truth you're shielding from yourself, there's a lot of risk here in admitting that that's the truth. You are worried you'll lose everything. Whatever it is that you're expected to do and you don't want to do might have a negative impact on your professional life. Now, I don't know what exactly the details are. Of course, you would know that, but that kind of anxiety is coming out, that if I admit this truth to myself, if I give in to my anxiety, if I put my foot down and say I'm not going to do this thing that is expected of me, there is a risk it could affect my professional life negatively, and I've worked really hard for it. Yeah, you have worked really hard for it, but pile pink, you are where you are, And what you have to think about is, as always, this is something that comes up often with in my readings with clients. Like, we're thinking so much about how much we've invested in the past and this and that, but you have to think about the future. Do you want to be miserable? Is it better to accept that, okay, you invested so much and it may not pan out the way that you thought it would? Isn't that better than you being miserable for the next 10 years? That is something you have to think about. And this is not at all, minimizing the fear and anxiety you feel, but it's just sometimes we're so attached to whatever we think we've invested, like we have to now see the rewards of what we've invested. But sometimes this is the reward, that you've outgrown that mode of living, that you've outgrown that mode of being. That is the reward of your investment, that you have gotten, that you committed so deeply to a particular process that you don't need it anymore. If we've done schooling really well, do we stay in school or we move? It's like that. You've done this really well, you're at a point where you can see that, okay, now, until now this timeline worked for me, but doesn't work for me anymore. Chariot in reverse and death. Yeah, this is inevitable. Pile pink. This is inevitable. See, in this moment, you can still continue doing what you think you should be doing, whether it's getting married or whether it's a particular professional path that you think now I must take. Maybe you trained in a really difficult field and now you don't want to do that work, but you think, I spent 5 years getting this degree and now I have to do this thing. I have debt from my tuition fees, so now I have to do this thing. But you don't. You don't have to do the thing that you don't want to do. And if you can take that risk, if you can accept that maybe other paths will open, that will help you pay off that debt, will help you integrate whatever you've learned and practice it in a whole new way. But there is a shift in your path that is calling to you right now. Do not suppress that call. Take your time, definitely, take your time with the anxiety you're feeling, the feeling of risk that is too big. Talk to someone, take people's help, but take it seriously. Whatever your heart is asking you to do, like, I don't want to do this, don't do it. Don't do it. 5 of Swords in reverse and the High Priestess in reverse. Yeah, this truth needs to come out, Pile Pink. This truth needs to come out. I feel so horrible. There's so much misery in your heart. You don't want to continue this way. You don't. You can be happy right now. And I know it's easier said than done. But it's possible. This message is coming out because it's possible. It's possible for you to be happy, for you to say no to the thing that you want to say no to. Yeah, pillar of light. Your vibration is rising. You are the oracle. You know what you want. You know what you don't want. Break the chain. Rewriting the future. Absolutely. Rewriting the future. The wastelands, sustainability, slow down, tend to your garden. Think about what you want. What other people expect from you, it doesn't matter. What you thought you would do 5 years ago doesn't matter. What matters is right now. The level of growth that you've unlocked, listen to it. Warrior woman, have you answered your deepest calling? Tell me you will. Pile pink, tell me you will. Rose without thorns. You have a right to your joy, peace, sweetness of life. This is exactly the energy I'm feeling from your guides. You have a right to your joy. Fight for that. Don't fight for a future that you don't want. I'm not generally this impassioned. I think your guides are... They really want you to choose your joy, Pile Pink. Hidden in plain sight, mysteries, learning and teaching. You might be surprised how supportive other people will be towards you if you own your truth. Answer the call. Can't get clearer than this. Answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? So pile pink, there is a particular timeline. You have reached a stage of that timeline that you're expected to complete and you don't want to. Until now, you followed all the steps correctly, and this may be the last step that then unlocks a particular kind of future. But you don't want to do it and you're scared to say no. And your guides are coming through to say, do it. Say yes to the life that you want. Take the risk. That's your reading, pile pink. All the very best. I am praying that you find the resources within and externally, in your friends, in your chosen family, in your real family, whatever it is, that you find the resources to go for the life that you want to live.